What's up everybody, it's Robin Gaming here. So I hope you're ready for some news on The Last of Us Part 2, because we definitely need to talk about some things. There's pretty much two different news stories that kind of broke over the week that we definitely need to talk about. So yeah, let's just straight up, dive into it right now. So the very first thing is, and this was pretty much already talked about when the original trailer, released back at PSX 2016, right? As people were kind of speculating, what is the location for the game? Where does this trailer exactly take place? Now, back then some people had already made some comparisons, so there were already signs that the trailer was actually taking place in Seattle. Now there's been some other there's been some other evidence added on top of that, I guess. Pretty much what people found out is that you can see a certain parking machine in the trailer, and it's like a carbon copy of the parking machines that you would find in Seattle, for example. At the same time, there's a concept art picture that shows you a certain car garage or something like that, which also is actually a real-life car garage that you can find in Seattle. Now what's been added on top of that as well is that in the trailer you saw some signs, for example, a certain sign that said Washington Street, and also one that said Driftwood. And when you look those up, for example, on Google Maps, and you find out where you can actually find those, it is once again in Seattle, of course. And not just that, it's literally blocks away from the actual car garage that was found in the concept art too. So by now it is pretty much 100% confirmed that the trailer location at least was in Seattle. And it kind of makes sense, of course, when you think about it, because the original The Last of Us was this journey throughout throughout America, right? It started off all the way in the eastern part in Boston, is where the kind of like intro levels, well, not the intro, I think that was in Texas, I'm pretty sure, because that was where Joel came from. But when the game starts 20 years later, it starts, of course, in Boston there, right? They kind of journey all the way through at the end, the middle of the country. They end up in Utah, Salt Lake City, where the hospital is located. So, they've had the kind of western part and the middle part of America by now, so it seems to make sense that this second game will be going more towards the western side, I guess, right? So yeah, that makes me think that, well, we're gonna go to Seattle, it seems, but then maybe also California, see Los Angeles or San Francisco, these type of cities. So that's gonna be, very cool to see. No doubt that it's once again gonna be this journey, throughout the country, because of course Naughty Dog would want you to see as many settings as possible, right, to kind of spice things up. So yeah, that's definitely gonna be interesting to see. Let me know, of course, if you have any settings that you in particular would like to see in The Last of Us Part 2. Then the second thing, now I've kind of been talking about this already in the past, but Naughty Dog has now legitimately confirmed it, is that The Last of Us Part 2, even right now, is still not in full production yet. So this news article pretty much broke by GameZone, and I'm just gonna read it out and I guess share my thoughts about it then afterwards. It reads, sadly it would seem that the game is still in very early days of production. GameZone can confirm through sources that as of E3 2017, the game's production only consisted of the trailer, the first draft of the script, and some design documents suggesting that it may still be in pre-production. Furthermore, communications director Arnie Meyer stated that due to the split-up nature of the studio working on Uncharted: The Lost Legacy and The Last of Us Part 2, the game hasn't really entered full production. What he says is that, so we can pretty much say that the whole studio will be focused on The Last of Us Part 2 once this is over. And by that, of course, he means The Lost Legacy. At some point, parts of the team that will try to figure out what's next and how that goes when The Last of Us Part 2 is full production. A lot of people went straight from The Last of Us, straight into Uncharted 4, straight into The Lost Legacy, and those guys right now need a vacation. Yeah, like I said, I've kind of been talking about this already, right? So, The Lost Legacy, it was kind of obvious that the whole team of Naughty Dog was working on that until it was finished. I mean, it's going to be quite a meaty game, has only had about a year of development time, so it only makes sense that the whole team has kind of been working on that, while just a small fraction, the writers and the designers have already been kind of like, laying the groundwork for the game to be made. I think, Naughty Dog kind of, they wanted to get this two-team approach off the ground back when Uncharted 3 and The Last of Us came out, the original one, but I think they've realized that it doesn't really work that way. Naughty Dog games really are about quality, and what they've kind of reverted to, I guess, is that that they just have one big main team, and once the, you know, the current project that they're working on starts nearing its final phases, I guess, they will start this really small core group that's already gonna kind of like, you know, lay the groundwork on the next game that's coming out. So that's why right now you've got, you know, Neil Druckmann writing the script for it, the first mocap stuff being done, you know, some scenes already being recorded, the main design of the game, the levels it's gonna take place in, right? Yeah, that's already being pretty much decided at the moment, and now that the Lost Legacy has wrapped up, and after those guys, you know, will finally come back from vacation in a month from now or something, that's when the Last of Us Part 2 development can really start happening, and, you know, the programming side and the people that actually built the game can start getting involved. So from now on is pretty much the time where, yeah, you know, the Last of Us Part 2 is going to start being developed. To its fullest at least, right, where the entire team can dive into it. And then, yeah, I personally believe that, you know, we're gonna see the game released sometime in 2019. That's really what I think, because, yeah, 2018, you know, at first it was this dream that we all had, and we all wanted it, of course, to be coming out as soon as possible, but I think, knowing this right now, it just seems kind of very likely that we ain't seeing this game until 2019. So, yeah, that's a little bit of a shame to see, but at the same time, the wait will, of course, be worth it, right? And it's kind of what I've been, you know, talking about already, of course, in previous videos, but this pretty much confirms it. So, yeah, that's nice to hear. Anyway, that's pretty much all that you need to know about The Last of Us Part 2 for now. This is all the news that broke over the recent times. So, with that being said, let me know, of course, your thoughts in the comments as well, and look forward to another Uncharted The Lost Legacy countdown part coming up, I think, tomorrow. So, yeah, that's gonna be really cool. And then for now, thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.